Welcome, everybody, to the Seattle Sports Union Podcast. My name is Abraham Dewey. I'm back in with the Savage Nathan Savage, and the Soul Man, Brian Solek. And big news coming out of the NBA this week. Adam Silver has thus granted the city of Seattle an opportunity to get an NBA team. Guys, what has it been, 20 years now since they were sold to the
07 or 08 that I saw the last home game ever against Dallas with my son, and then those jerk-offs took our team to Oklahoma City, so it's been a long time.
It's been long enough. I need to get new sweatshirts, new gear. My sweatshirts, my old Sonics gear's falling apart. I'm ready for some new green and gold stuff to start showing up. So,
definitely.
Okay, Nathan, you're just a youngster, so you don't remember when this was the only championship team we had. But losing them, what did it mean to you?
I mean, basketball is my sport. I know the product's kind of gone downhill. I know a lot of people aren't watching the NBA. I'm still loving the NBA. I'm still rooting for the NBA. For me, the biggest thing is, that Kevin Durant jersey I had when I was a little kid, that Westbrook never ending up wearing a jersey going to OKC. That kind of ruined basketball, honestly, for me as a whole. I'm much more of a player kind of person now in the NBA. I don't really have a team. People say, what's your team? I just talk about players. And as much as I like the Mariners, as much as I like the Seahawks, growing up, basketball has always been my sport. And I just cannot get over these highlights of Gary Payton, Shawn Kemp, some of these plays, and just not even having the team anymore where those plays happen. So, I'm really excited for them to come back. That's probably will be my favorite team, actually, in Seattle.
So, man, we're men of generally relative exact same ages. What was your first recollection of the Sonics?
What, in today's time or coming back?
No. Back when you were just a mere young lad of
my gosh,
of Nathan's age.
We used to watch. I mean, we watched them back in the 70s. I know I was a young kid then, but I watched them with my dad on our TV. We watched the championship, when we lost and we won, and saw the parade. And then in the 80s, me and a buddy of mine used to go down to the Coliseum all the time. I mean, when there were no fans, but we used to be able to go down there and high five everybody, and we get all, Tom Chambers, X-Man, whoever autograph. And I mean, They were my favorite team, obviously, for basketball, but I love basketball. And in fact, I'm a baseball guy, but I grew up playing both sports, and I preferred basketball. And I just love the sport. I mean, I sucked at it, but I love the sport. And obviously we got the 90s. We got, the big series against the Bulls. It was at 96 when we lost, but that brings back a lot of memories, with Gary Payton, Shawn Kemp. I mean, what a team we had with George Karl as coach. And I mean, we had the X-Men on. We talked about that series. Well, it was a part of the team then, but we did talk about it. And
for everybody out there, go check out that interview that we have with Xavier McDaniel. That was really
and
good
Kevin Calabro too. We got to get Kevin Calabro, the former announcer. He came on and talked a little bit about it, and we got to he even did a little bit of play-by-play for us. It was pretty freaking cool. So I'm excited. I mean, it's about freaking time. I mean, we should never lost him.
Yeah, no, I agree. I never believed it, not for half a second, that those carpetbaggers from Oklahoma were going to make a good faith effort to keep them in Seattle. And I thought, that was where I think I first recalled what my dad always told me. How can you tell when politicians are lying? They're moving their lips, because those politicians that allowed this to happen. I mean, I realized Howard Schultz is an idiot and a jerk, and every pejorative in the book, but our own politicians sold this out, and I'll never forgive that group. Do you guys remember what a particular city councilman by the name of Frank Chop said when the Sonics were leaving?
I don't personally know.
He said that the Sonics offered no cultural value to the city of Seattle.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's a little bit of healing, and I know this is not a done deal, but do you guys have the same sense of positivity that I do about this?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think 6 months out, we started to hear about this. And the part for me that is really kind of keeping me positive through this whole thing, even 6 months ago, a year ago, is Vegas. They want Vegas so badly. and they need another team to come with Vegas to keep it even. So they're going to do whatever they can. They honestly might pay half the fee for Seattle just to get Vegas in the NBA. So that's the driving force really for me. That's like, this is going to happen because they're going to do whatever they can to get Vegas, all that money involved. We can talk about sports gambling and basketball at another time, but they're going to do whatever they can to get Vegas in. Seattle will come with that no matter what. And I hope we get a good fair shake. I think the Kraken kind of coming a year after the Vegas team, they reworked the way a new team expansion would get players for the Kraken that kind of screwed the Kraken over when Vegas got these just unreal setup, great players. So I'm glad we're also coming in the same time, same rules with Vegas too.
Yeah. Same positivity for you still, man, or do you have trepidation?
I have positivity, but I mean, this weekend is my father's 84th birthday. We celebrated and we talked about it literally for maybe 5 or 10 minutes last night at dinner about the song he's coming back, and he's excited, but his concern was we're going to suck. Those are his basic words. I mean, it's like, Dad, but I go, Dad, some of these players do want to come back and play for us, even if they're the end of their career. Kevin Durant. I mean, I can't remember the names right now, but we talked about it. And there's also the expansion draft. And he doesn't think there's a plethora of NBA players that are out there that, enough coming out of college or whatever it might be. And he thinks we're going to be probably be a terrible team for a while. And I try to turn that negative into kind of a positive, but I see where he's coming from his perspective a little bit.
Okay, we had to sit through PJ Carlesimo. It can't get any worse than that, right?
Yeah, I remember when I was first liking them, they drafted 3 foreign centers in a row that all didn't know how to play basketball before KD in that era. Like Swift was one of them. I can't remember the rest, but yeah.
Well, he was from Nebraska. By the way,
okay.
Fascinating story about that guy because he lost it all. But anyway, there was the parade of centers that couldn't play. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But you know what though? Like, if they suck, so what? At least we're in the game.
That's right. That's right.
You got to be in the game before you can win. I mean,
yeah. I mean, the biggest bummer for me is they basically are sitting there with Kevin Durant, Jeff Green, Russell Westbrook draft all ready to go. The
Nick
golden
Collison,
era of Seattle's coming, and then they move them to OKC. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. I actually really like the way I always feel like Seattle is a basketball town. And I hope it trickles down into, the college ranks there. UW needed a boost, and then high school as well needs a little bit of a boost.
The sheer quantity of NBA players from Seattle is ridiculous. For a city that, isn't as, I don't know, it's not as stereotypical as other best basketball towns. The sheer quantity of talent that comes out of here is amazing, and I'm glad to have it back. What do you guys think about Samantha Holloway as a potential owner? Samantha Holloway, by the way, being the daughter of Bonderman, the guy who owns the Kraken. He passed away. She's inherited that. And it looks like with this maneuver for the Kraken to own the majority share of the Climate Pledge Arena, kind of seems like she's positioning herself to be a major player.
Yeah, they're going to try. I don't know, because it's supposed to be in the maybe $6 to $8 billion range, which is crazy. I think the last expansion, the Bobcats, was like, yeah. If she has the money, that's good, because it's going to be, whoever gets it's going to be a big investment. It's going to be a no joke investment.
It seems to be the right fit, Soul Man. I mean, if you have an entity that owns the Kraken and they can fill all their other dates with the Sonics, and in the summer you fill it with the Storm and music concerts, it seems to be a fit to me.
You would think so. I mean, that's another thing we talked about with my dad. He brought up the fact that if this gal buys a team, Seattle, the Sonics are going to want their own practice facility. I don't know where he heard that, but maybe he did hear that somewhere.
They will.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, how are they going to, he doesn't just see the fact that they'll be able to share practice sites with the Kraken or whomever. There's no place out there where they can build, you would think, where they can build a practice facility of their own. And basketball season lasts 9 months out of the year, and you mix that in with hockey. I mean, that's
summer league, all that stuff.
That's got to be a scheduling pain. You would think about it.
How much would you sell your house for, Soulman?
Me?
If they wanted to put a basketball facility right on here?
I would want $1 million.
Okay. Oh, you're undercutting it. That's a value. You could go
Yeah,
5
the
to
one
10.
nice thing kind of is, I mean, they could do I think they'd probably do like a VMAC thing, something like that with what the Seahawks do, where just have their somewhere in Renton or up north, Bothell, wherever they'll put their
You could
big
do that.
warehouse basically and do whatever, yeah.
You know what else you could do too is the hotbed of talent for basketball players has always been South Seattle. Maybe there's somewhere down there, in the industrial part of Georgetown or whatnot that you could do this. There's also, hell, you could even do it at Northgate Mall. I
Oh,
mean,
share
Yeah,
the
just turn
Kraken
the mall in.
facility?
well,
Or
the facility next to it. I mean, there's opportunities there. There's opportunities in a lot of places. South Center Mall, that's just a bunch of nothing there. So you could replicate what's going on in Northgate at South Center Mall, right?
true.
I mean, these people are rich. They can find property. It's
What
not that.
are what are Kraken fans thinking about their ownership? Because I thought there was some conversation of them not being as happy with their ownership so far in some
Yeah,
of
I
their
mean,
decisions.
the lack of success with the Kraken, I'll put it this way. They're not happy. However, they just got rid of the guy they're not happy with. So now they're just not happy with the new guy. I mean, like they're gonna have to you have to wait. I mean, if you tear this down like they did last year, I mean, you gotta wait until it gets better. But I'll put it this way. Two things. One, Kraken fans are not gonna be Supersonics fans, and vice versa. I think people are going to have a preference for one or the other. I mean, I'm not saying like it's either or. You can still like the Kraken if you're a Sonics fan and vice versa. But I mean, there is a dynamic that's different. What am I trying to say here, guys? It's not the same
Yeah.
fan base, right?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. And I mean, it would be like I'm trying to think of like another sport, like saying that if you're a baseball fan, you must be a rugby fan. That's not necessarily true,
Me.
but you can like both.
Yeah.
But I think the Kraken have been a success from a marketing standpoint, and marketing can get you so far for X amount of years because they'll be the fresh new team in town, the Sonics, that is, and the diehards are going to show up regardless.
Man, I'm thinking as you're talking to, I'm just thinking about those maroon jerseys, the emerald green maroon jerseys. Thinking about, yeah, all the green and gold. Like, there's a lot of history with this Sonics team and a lot of really good teams, even though, sadly, the one I was maybe the most excited for went to OKC. But I really hope the NBA does it right with the expansion. I know there's a conversation in the NBA as a whole is it's kind of been a talent vacuum right now, not as much talent, but I hope they do the expansion right. And I mean, sometimes it's even just fun to see your 10-win team, seeing if they can get a Cooper Flag or AJ DeBonsa. That's another fun part of basketball, right? Is sometimes tanking can be fun as well.
I don't. My dad's the same way as yours, Soul Man. He was always against the MLB expanding. Like, why do they need more players?
Yeah.
But the system is set so any team can turn their fortunes if they're smart enough.
Okay.
You don't have to suck forever. The same as that if you want to go get the players, you can get the players. It's not so strict that you can't do what you need to do. But I this whole thing about watering down of the players, no, because the game is growing. Same with baseball. The game is growing, and there's NBA players all over the world. Bring them in.
Yeah, Europe's going crazy right now with the talent they're bringing in.
Yeah.
And MLB, the Asian market that came in, is supplying the league with more players that are better, bigger, faster, stronger than ever. And I don't like that argument. Where you get crappy teams are just crappy organizations that, Oakland Athletics care more about money or care more about profit margins than, trying to put together a team.
Yeah, that's for me kind of why I want like a bomber type guy. Because even with all the crazy stuff going on in the Clippers, he's still spending $50 million under the table to try to bring Kawhi in. It might be illegal, but he's doing that. He built that big kind of like Cameron Indoor, like Duke court kind of in LA there for the Clippers. I think the Clippers would basically be gone almost, how it was when I was growing up versus the Lakers, but Ballmer and the amount of money he has is really carrying it. So we'll see. But I do hope, you know, someone like, as much as I don't necessarily like Bezos or like some of the billionaires out there, those guys will just kind of, I think the NBA is in a place where with the money, you can kind of force some hype and force a really good team to happen. And that's where I would like a big money guy.
I think Samantha's a big money person.
Okay. Okay. That's good to know.
Her
Yeah.
daddy was loaded. And another thing too is in the politics of Seattle, the Kraken did it right. Like, you guys remember when Chris Hansen, by the way, big ups to Chris Hansen. I don't know why people are down on him, but like he at least tried to get a team here, a lot more than whatever the government here has been trying to do. But it seems like Samantha Lewicki, they know how to talk to the people in the, in City Hall, in King County Commissioners Hall. I don't know. But it seems like they know how to navigate the politics of the whole situation. And I think the way Seattle is, they hate billionaires, but if it's a woman billionaire, it's not as big a deal, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
I mean,
I trust your opinion on that stuff for sure.
So I think she can get things done where other people can't get things done. One, because she grew up in an environment where her daddy knew how to do all that. And then two, she has a mind for it with all the marketing that they've done to keep the Kraken relevant, even though they've been losing all the time. So I think she understands the game and she knows how to play. So all right, I'm happy, guys.
I'm very excited.
I feel like somebody hit the reset button on basketball for me because I was really down on the NBA, my personal boycott. Well, I'm still going to boycott Starbucks. Their coffee's terrible, but the boycott on the NBA, I started watching some NBA tonight, guys.
But you might have watched a really good game. Was it
The Knicks,
OKC?
The Knicks. And,
Knicks OKC.
Yeah. That was really good.
Yeah. You saw some unethical basketball by OKC though, with all the foul baiting that they do.
Yeah, it was a little bit. It's okay. It's okay. I'm getting back into it. Guys, I'm excited. Final words for you guys?
I'm excited too, but it sounds like to me we need to give Jeff Baker a shout out and see what he has to say about, he's our Kraken expert, and see what he has to say about what's going on.
You bet.
Yeah, for me, it's just, when it's raining outside, crappy weather, you want to go into a gym and play basketball. That's how it always was for me. And I just am happy that that's back in Seattle because it should have been there the whole time. And I don't think I'll ever maybe fully get over while they're gone, but it'll be nice to have them back and maybe I'll forget a little bit at least.
Right on. Okay, shout outs for today, guys. Let's start off with you, Soul Man.
I'll give a shout out to my father who's celebrating his 84th birthday this weekend. He had last 6 months, he got a new pacemaker, went through a lot of hell, and he's on his way back to recovery. And so, love you, Dad. Happy birthday.
Cool. Nathan?
Yeah, I want to shout out my sister. She's in Japan, kind of similar. Keep an eye on my grandpa. And she's tried to get me to go to so many Portland games, and I've always turned it down. But maybe we'll finally go to a game in Seattle. Go to NBA.
All right,
right on.
Yeah.
Woohoo! Yeah, no, Brandon Roy. I thought that would get me to like the Trailblazers. I couldn't do it.
Yeah. For me, it's Lillard, but yeah, I just couldn't do it.
Shout out for the Jellyfish, my softball team. We're 0-3. But we've been competing in every game.
All right.
And I've been told that's all that matters is having fun. Anyway.
Yeah, if everything goes well this fall, I'll if you need an extra person on the Jellyfish, I'll happily join you. Yeah.
Excellent. We need to turn this franchise around.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I want to thank everybody out there for watching us here on YouTube and checking us out on Spotify. Please check us out on Facebook and subscribe and like, and take a look at us on X. That's at Seattle Sports U, and we'll see you guys next time.
Go Sonics.
Go Sonics. Yes.
Yeah.